Well, Max, you're going to introduce
Yeah.
yourself, so why don't you just do that?
Okay,
all right?
I shall. It's a blessing to be here on this day, and President Steckholt's blessings on your lap, life after presidency. And President-elect Hardy, God be all over you. I bring greetings from my boss, Rich Robertson, CEO and president of Lutheran Church Extension Fund, and more importantly, from the 60,000 partner investors in Lutheran Church Extension Fund, many of whom I'm sure are sitting in this room. It's a real honor to be here, and I mean here, at Concordia, what I call Concordia Lutheran Junior College, where I attended and graduated in 1970, back in the day when there were 11 or 10 and a half junior colleges and one senior college and a couple seminaries and a liberal arts place. And that was, back in the day, there were only freshmen and sophomores here. And my freshman year, they did an experiment where they put 30 freshmen and 2 sophomores in one dorm, Silas. And they never did that again. And we had fun. I don't know if you're familiar with Peabody's improbable history. Remember Peabody the dog, and he had the pet boy Sherman, and he would get in the Wayback Machine, and they would travel back and look at kind of events in the past. And if there were some kind of improbable future, 45 years ago, somebody would have told me that I would be in this room where I played ball and missed more shots than I made. If somebody would have told me that there would come a day when I would be representing LCEF at the English District Convention, I would have said, "What's LCEF? What's an English district?" And I remember I asked my dad. My dad was a pastor in the Michigan district, and when I was growing up, and I said, "Well, Dad, what's in it?" And I heard about an English district, and I said, "Well, what's an English district?" And he said, "Well, that's where congregations speak English." I said, ich kann verstehe das. Danke. Pleasure to be here, and LCEF is 3 large departments. Loans investments, David's going to talk about loans investments, and then the other one is ministry support. I'm Senior Vice President of Ministry Support. Within ministry support are all the things that we want to provide to congregations in order to help put ministry into motion. It's all based on that great passage, 2 Samuel 6, that sweeping David narrative and all those, there's 17 different David anecdotes. My favorite is David and Uzzah. Uzzah put in charge of moving the ark from wherever it was, to Jerusalem. And on the way, the ark slid, and he did what you and I would do, and he put up his hand to keep it from falling off, and he got smote. Sometimes King James is just the best. He got smote. And so David parked the ark for a while in kind of a self-storage unit in the home of Obed-Edom, and then Obed-Edom got blessed, and so David wanted the ark in Jerusalem, and he moved it, and David danced. David danced. 1 ark, 2 guys, 1 gets smote, 1 dances. So our tagline for ministry support, we wanted to be sing and dance. That didn't pass marketing. What we got was ministry in motion. So we want to provide things for you to allow congregations to joyfully step into what God calls them to do. There's just a few that I want to highlight. And David, he put together slides, and I agreed to the slides, and we talked about it a week ago, and so 3 minutes ago I said, I'm not going to use the slides. So he's going to try and work the clicker in coordination with me. I want to talk about CFS, Capital Funding Services. That's our arm that does capital campaigns, but there's so much more than capital campaigns. The buzzword in capital campaigns right now is generosity, right? And I understand that. There's a positive spin to that word generosity, and there is a generation that relates well to that kind of word. Generosity to me is a little theologically thin, My neighbor is generous. You're not a Christian. So our capital campaigns are now truly stewardship focused. And by the way, I love that hymn 834, that 4th verse, the 2nd line from the bottom. It talked about those whose life is a high doxology. Isn't that great? That's what we've based capital funding services on. Stewardship campaigns that allow people to live lives that are high doxology. They're based on Ephesians 3:20 and 21. Now to him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, to him be glory. And so our campaigns now look like this. We imagine what God is calling us to do. We ask, and then we experience the immeasurably more. And the phases go through imagine, inform, inspire, and impact. That's capital funding services. The demand for capital funding services right now is extremely high, to the point where we're adding consultants. The other piece that I want to talk about is consecrated stewards.
That's what you want.
Actually, I want to talk about stewardship itself. Consecrated stewards is an offering within LCEF. The other one is Joy of Discovery, the one nobody knows about. There's one that is on my whiteboard right now, and it's called Blessed Beyond Belief. And it's going to be based on the liturgical year, A, B, and C. 3 modules for each year that will be highly experiential for people, to allow them to live, to encourage them to live a life of high doxology. The third thing I want to talk about is Vision Path. And Vision Path is the signature offering within ministry support. Vision Path is a catalytic offering to help congregations who are stuck to take a step forward. It's only catalytic. The demand for Vision Path has been so incredibly high that we're now creating Vision Path 2.0. And it will have 3 modules: Vision Path Compass, Vision Path Map, Vision Path Guide. Compass, this is who we are and where we're going. Map, this is how we get there. Guide, this is how we create systems that do it. It's an honor, truly an honor, to be here with you on this day and to stand on a dais with such people. And David Thiele, it's yours.
All right. You're leaving me. How do you follow that, right? Wow. Thanks, Max. Just a couple of things. If you have your advocate contest form and you haven't given it to me yet, you need to do that, because I'm going to draw for the winners at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And if you haven't picked up your water bottle, please pick up your water bottle. I got too many water bottles, so if you want a second one for your wife, come by or something. Congregational loans. This year in the English district, we have approved more than $4 million in loans. So what are congregations asking money for? Some have had their loan at a local bank, and they said, what can LCEF do? And we're very competitive. So if you have your loan at a local bank, we will beat whatever they are offering. Give us a chance. Some congregations are saying, it's been a while since we've had our parking lot repaved, and maybe we want to do some energy efficient windows, and we might need a new roof. And so they come to us and we walk alongside them for that. Still other congregations are saying, we want to try, we're going to risk, we're going to step out in faith, we're going to add a staff person. And so we're going to take out a loan for adding this staff person so that we can reach out into our community better. And when you marry that loan with a capital funds drive, usually you can pay off that loan within 3 years with that capital fund drive. So there's a lot of different ways that you can consider, what is God? What's your dream? And what's the dream that God is calling to you in your community, where you go, if we just had some extra dollars, we could do something significant. So we have our loans. We have loans for rostered church workers as well. And the loans are for home mortgages, home equity, debt reduction. It is not offered in every single state, the home mortgages, but it will be. And the will be is when the Lutheran Federal Credit Union is up and operational, the roster church worker loans is going to be offered through them and LCEF in the states where we do not have the ability to do that. So if you're on the roster and you want a competitive price for your home loan, it's coming in all 50 states. We also have education loans for rostered church workers. So if you have graduated in the last 5 years and you have student debt, we have the ability to help you with that loan. If it's been 6 or 7 years, talk to me. Sometimes we're able to do that. Our current interest rate is just a little over 3% for student loans. It's a great program. We also have investment opportunities. The young people here, yesterday they went out and did a service project, and I'm sure that they put in more than 10 hours in, or close to that, into that project. If they are all investors in the YI Club, they could send in their form and receive $25 free put into their account. When you're an investor in the YI Club, you receive 3.5% interest on the first $1,000. When you're 7 years of age or older, you get $1 for every A that you receive in a calendar year, up to 25. And you also have, if you do 10 hours of community service, you get $25 put into your account. For high school seniors, there's applications for scholarships that we're providing as well. It's a great product. Guess who is opening up more YI accounts for children than anyone else? Grandparents. Right, exactly. There is also a new YI Activity Center. It's at the yiclub.lcef.org. All kinds of games and activities. The goal of the YI Club is that by the time a student is graduating from high school, they are going to be savvy in financial management. They are going to be savvy around stewardship. And they are going to see how those things working together help build the kingdom of God. We also have, if you are not an investor in LCEF, please consider becoming an investor. Your investment helps churches and church workers, and it gives us the ability to provide loans for them. We have an incentive for brand new investors called Connect Plus. $500 minimum to start this account. You receive 3% interest in a 2-year term note. You can add money throughout the term to this note, and you receive that 3% on up to $5,000. And then after the $5,000, you receive 1% interest. We also have Partner Plus for those of you who are already investors, or if you would like, you can do this if you're not an investor as well. A 2-year term note or a 4-year term note up to $25,000 can go into your church. If you have a nest egg that's at a bank that's receiving absolutely nothing in interest, this is available for your congregation as well. For individuals and congregations, up to $25,000 in this account will earn either 2 or 2.5% depending upon the term that you receive. We also have the Family Emergency Fund that receives 1%. There's a sheet in your folders that explains these 4 major products that we offer, and I can share more with you at the booth that is in the tent. And then finally, there's a lot of different ways that people can give offerings to your church. And I know there's some other organizations out there that provide a way for members to use a service through Vanguard that their offerings can be made to the church on a regular basis. LCEF has joyful response. Unlike any of those other institutions, when a person writes out the check for $25 or says, I want $25 taken out of my account every week to go into the congregation, LCEF does not take a percentage out. So the full $25 goes into the account. Other companies will take a percentage out. You can also do this for schools with school tuition. So this is for congregations, and it's easily set up, and again, we can help you through that process. So come and visit me at my tent. I have applications there, I have information, I have your water bottles, and we have the contest. Thank you for your time.